international participants. And on the regional scene, the Central Corridor's Green Economic Development Corridor is envisioned as a drive for shared prosperity through industrialization and trade facilitation. Sit tight and let's dive into it. The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development this week unveiled its 2025-2030 strategic plan targeting the expansion and diversification of renewable energy sources while promoting clean cooking technologies to reduce biomass dependence. The plan was launched at the Renewable Energy Conference and Expo 2025 in Kampala, held under the theme Transforming Energy Systems for Livelihoods and Conservation.
Uganda has made significant progress in harnessing its natural energy potential, particularly solar, wind and biomass. These investments are helping to reduce dependence on hydropower, which remains vulnerable to climate change and fluctuating water levels.
Meeting these targets demands sustained investment, year in, year out, so that we are able to explore the nuclear energy for peaceful use agenda, sustained investment. It also requires sustained innovation so that we enhance efficiency. We move away from rudimentary methods.
Through its 2025-2030 strategic plan, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development is shifting focus from access to impact by expanding and diversifying renewable energy sources and making electricity not only available but also affordable and sustainable. This is in line with Government of Uganda's ATM economic strategy, says Engineer Irene Batebe, the Permanent Secretary at the Energy Ministry.
With the key targets that we've set, we must support the ATMs, we must get power to mining sites, the demand is high, we must unlock new generation capacity, including nuclear, and indeed the enormous demands of this sector as enshrined in the strategic plan must be supported if all the other areas will be unlocked.
This year's Renewable Energy Conference and Expo theme, Transforming Energy Systems for Livelihoods and Conservation, reflects the Ministry's commitment to ensuring that Uganda's energy policies and programs go beyond power generation and supply.
Over 80% of Ugandans still rely on biomass for cooking. And it's not just an energy issue, it's a health issue, it's a gender equality challenge, it's a climate concern. It's a nature crisis.
New innovations come with new science that will help us reduce on the wastage, maximize benefits from the resources that we have. It requires responsible exploitation of our oil, our gas, and the mineral resources, so that we can drive what we've been talking about, industrialization, so that we can get the jobs for the youth who are the majority in this country.
As the country enters the NDP4 implementation period, commitment and collaboration are crucial in sustaining the momentum needed to build an energy industry that is sustainable, inclusive and competitive. Charlotte Amuge for UBC.
The 2025 edition of the Renewable Energy Conference and Exposition attracted a wide range of local and international players, showcasing innovative renewable energy solutions, all aimed at supporting Uganda's social and economic transformation through a sustainable and efficient energy mix. Take a look.
Various exhibitors have turned up for the Renewable Energy Conference and Expo 2025 at the Kampala Serena Hotel to display clean energy innovations and technologies for clean cooking solutions and off-grid systems for productive use to solar applications for lighting and other domestic and commercial purposes.
Very, easy to carry, not like the traditional lead-acid batteries. So this is very light, easy.
We have brought this new technology specifically for schools and big institutions. It uses little power to boil food. It can cook beans like for 30 minutes or 20 minutes.
Currently, the Ministry of Energy and its partners are working together to increase the uptake of renewable energy solutions such as electric pressure cookers, liquefied petroleum gas, and advanced biomass stoves, technologies that promise to improve energy efficiency and reduce reliance on traditional fuels.
I told the people of Nakasongola, I reminded them that at one time they won a medal of being the first district in burning charcoal, Nakasongola. And I asked them whether they still have trees now as I speak.
However, concerns remain about the affordability and durability of the solutions on display, including heavy and light-duty solar panels and high-capacity batteries.
So middle-class people can afford. Unlike people who are lower than middle class, I don't think they can really afford. So I think also, that's what I go back to what I say. So if the government would punch in something, something, these, the owners, they'll try and also reduce the prices in order people in rural areas to afford these technologies at this moment.
The argument is that if renewable solutions remain expensive, uptake and penetration levels will stay low, undermining the broader goal of expanding access to clean energy.
Some of these innovations are quite expensive. They are costly, especially for the common man. Yeah? So you realize that even if we deploy this, not just a small fraction of the community of our society can afford it. So as the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, what are you trying to do to ensure that these technologies are accessible?
We have right now an ongoing subsidy program where the government is coming in to provide a subsidy. So if you wanted to get a solar irrigation system that is 1 million, then the government is subsidizing that by almost 50%. We have partners who have similar initiatives that are supporting subsidizing these products. So that's on the one part, that where we're supporting price buy down. On the other part, government has provided incentives to Ugandans across all these technologies. So in terms of taxes, if for instance you are to pay taxes of 10% import duty, 18% VAT, withholding tax, that comes to about 50% cost of these products. Government has exempted all these taxes. Again, for the purposes of bringing down the prices.
Renewable energy continues to provide economic opportunities for Ugandans, particularly in areas not yet connected to the national grid, driving production, improving livelihoods, and contributing to sustainable local economies.
The Parliamentary Committee on Environment and Natural Resources has hailed government for improving the capacity of electricity generation in Uganda. The MPs were on an oversight visit to various electricity generation and distribution infrastructures in both the eastern and northern Uganda. Take a look.
The Parliamentary Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, chaired by Soroti City East MP Herbert Ariko, has conducted an oversight visit to assess electricity generation infrastructure in eastern and northern Uganda. The delegation was joined by the Minister of State for Energy, Okasai Opolot, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Electricity Regulatory Authority, Engineer Tibalu Wawako Zira.
The team is here, the chair is here.
At Mbale Industrial Park, MPs noted frequent outages affecting 55 operational industries, as explained by Lawrence Zhang, the Industrial Park Administrator.
Lack of communication from the transmission company about the unplanned outage. The power goes out without any prior communication.
With growing industrial interest in Mbale, government plans to replace the temporary mobile station with a permanent substation.
So I will be asking you to approve that money to enable us to build a station in this area to match the ambitions of the investor.
We are also aware that when, before we came here, His Excellency the President authorized our partners of the Mbale Industrial Park to look for a short-term solution so that they can bridge the gap of power supply at this industrial park. We welcome that.
In Kumi district, political leaders briefed the team on local electricity challenges. Plans are underway to upgrade the Kumi substation from 1 MVA to 5 MVA.
Because it has almost reached its capacity, full capacity, so we want to increase it to a higher capacity so that it can be able to serve.
The 132 kV Opuyo substation, powered by Bujagali and Karuma dams, is set to supply planned industrial zones in Soroti and Moroto.
But as well as we have the only monopole line, 132 kV that starts from here at Opuyo all the way to Moroto to feed into the Cementi and the future Kidinka, Goldie and Mabo industries.
The 80 megawatt Kole substation has reduced government reliance on costly dimmed energy from the 83 megawatt Aswa plant serving much of northern Uganda.
But also it now gives us the backbone for us to implement the free connections to accelerate access to clean energy. So the people of Gulu, I think the government has answered.
At the 600 megawatt Karuma hydropower dam, operators highlighted limited domestic power demand despite high production capacity. Minister Kasai noted challenges in supplying locally versus exporting electricity.
My limiting factor is the ability to supply. And the export is not meant to be one-sided. The infrastructure which we're establishing is also to take care, should we have any shortages, we should be able to buy electricity, bring it from our neighbors. We are members of the East African Power Pool, which allows free trade. Electrons should move from areas of excess to areas of deficit.
Under the NDP4, government aims to reach 52,000 megawatt power generation by 2030.
Now, the Central Corridor's Green Economic Development Corridor is envisioned as an integrated green corridor driving shared prosperity through industrialization and trade facilitation. To achieve this long-term vision, member states have outlined 4 key objectives to guide implementation over the next 5 years. That is industrialization and value addition, regional trade and integration, multimodal connectivity, environmental sustainability, and climate resilience. Dennis Sigoa was in Tanzania.
The second Green Economic Development Corridor Regional Workshop in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, was a validation of findings and recommendations of comprehensive assessments by the consultant and the Central Corridor Secretariat. This follows the identification during an earlier experts meeting of 4 regional value chains with the highest potential to transform the region's economy. These are electric mobility covering automotive, agricultural and freight-moving machinery, as well as shipbuilding and vessels, agri-industry with a focus on horticulture, iron and steel, and pharmaceuticals.
You know, if you look at our continent, Africa, our history of development in Africa is littered with a lot of beautiful communiques, comprehensive action plans, ambitious declarations that never left the conference rooms. So we should not allow GDC to become another file on a shelf gathering dust.
This is a journey, a long journey. This is a process. We cannot say that everything is perfect today. We should continue to improve our work. We should continue to improve the way we are implementing the vision of our leaders who want to transform this region.
Following the deep dive assessments, representatives from various organizations shared insights on how their countries intend to plug into the value corridor agenda and the tangible benefits expected.
Pharmaceutical industries, Uganda is developing a biomedical hub in Nakasongola. All these, when put together, are developing resources naturally, adding value, and then having a market within the region in addition to the international market.
As a nation, with the recent discovery of the graphite, that's the Rutao project in Kasia, Lilongo Central Region, we're seeing that we can contribute highly to the issue of e-mobility within the region.
But Kit also point out is in this transition to e-mobility, where Uganda began its journey as far back as 2011, we are very well aligned to see how we leverage this new technology, not just to facilitate the movement of products and people in the corridor, but also to catalyze industrialization through automotive manufacturing.
Development partners also pledged support toward transforming the Central Corridor from a transit corridor into a value corridor.
So GIZ will continue to walk side by side with the Central Corridor across the next 4 years, and something that we have now built the architecture together of the GDC. The architecture is there, we know what needs to happen, the different pillars, the foundation needs to now build. So we need to, as a next step, build the GDC house, and we are here to do this together.
I therefore take this opportunity to affirm that Trademark Corridor's work is not complete. We are only starting. Our aim is to transform this corridor into one that we are proud of, but one that is sustainable even for the future generations.
With the findings now endorsed, the next step is to mobilize resources from financiers, investors and development partners for the implementation phase. Dennis Sikoa for UBC in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
Players in Uganda's animal feed sector have had an opportunity to share insights on the industry's growth trajectory and the pressing gaps that need urgent attention. This was during the 16th National Competitiveness Forum held in Kampala.
The 2025 National Competitiveness Forum, organized by the Ministry of Finance, focused on leveraging regional opportunities to grow Uganda's food processing and animal feed sectors. Patrick Ochailap, the Deputy Secretary to the Treasury, highlighted the vast business opportunities within the agriculture sector and Uganda's comparative advantage.
By 2040, demand for processed foods is projected to increase more than 7-fold. Uganda already exports 58% of its products to Africa, with over half of animal feed destined for regional markets. The African Free Continental Trade Area further expands this opportunity, providing access to 1.4 billion people with a combined GDP of over $3 trillion as an opportunity.
Unlocking the competitiveness of the animal feeds industry was high on the agenda at this well-attended meeting, which brought together players across the entire value chain. However, participants expressed concern over how policy discussions can be translated into tangible outcomes for the sector. Despite Uganda's potential to become a major player in the regional animal feeds industry, key bottlenecks remain, including the high cost of capital, elevated electricity tariffs, low levels of mechanization, and disparities in product standards.
When we make our feed, we use 100% local raw materials, maize, soya, sunflower, but at the same time we are competing with foreign imported concentrates, and there's no protection whatsoever. Now I understand the biggest concern is if our quality is able to match the European quality.
Right now is a big problem, power goes off every now and then. So we are ending up using a lot of fuel in running our generators. Even then, the power tariff is a bit high. For manufacturing to do better and to be for us to be competitive in the region, we need a better deal.
Electricity at a rate that the other gentleman mentioned about. The 5 cents per whatever should not be for large scale. We should be able to see that come down to the lower manufacturers. But that is a process that we need to continue with the negotiations. As the capacity for electricity also increases, we need to increase the capacity of production across all factors of production, technology being the variable that's necessary.
Uganda's national feed sector, nonetheless, is on a growth and modernization path, spurred by a growing livestock population, human population growth, renewed efforts to enhance food security and production efficiency.
And I believe that if we all put our hands together and really focus, this is the right time to invest into ourselves and to make Uganda a better place.
Charlotte Amuge for UBC.
Still on the regional scene, Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo have held a Business Connect Forum and Expo in Butembo, North Kivu Province. The Ugandan delegation, led by Ambassador Farid Kalisa, underscored the importance of the forum in boosting trade and commerce between the two East African Community member states. Take a look.
Under the theme, Strengthening Business Linkages for Socio-Economic Transformation, the Business Forum aimed at connecting businesses between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo for mutually beneficial growth in trade and commerce.
Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo are not just neighbors, but partners in trade, in peace, in prosperity, and in building a future where our people can thrive together. According to the Bank of Uganda 2025, Uganda's exports to DRC rose from 446 million USD in 2020, and in 2024, the value is now at 810 million. That's over 81% increase in imports from DRC.
Participants discussed existing barriers to trade and laid down strategies to find solutions that create an enabling environment for business to flourish. The Business Forum and Expo in Butembo attracted over 50 business enterprises in various product lines and exhibitors from Uganda for business networking with DRC business community from Beni, Butembo, Kisangani, Goma and Bukavu.
Et de remettre la RDC sur l'échiquier international.
We shall still continue following up with the ambitions and targets as promised by the First Minister, who insists on constant communication in the region, in addition to boosting collaboration between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo for mutual benefits.
Est un maillon très important dans cette dynamique.
This animal called non-tariff barriers, it hinders competitiveness and affects consumer welfare. Infrastructure bottlenecks, we are trying, we shall get there, but you all know the hardship we went through when accessing the road from Kasindi to
Butembo is the second largest city in North Kivu province, with a sizable population of businesses that have links to as far as Kinshasa. Uganda's strategic location makes it a crucial gateway into and out of eastern DRC.
We want to maximize the Lake Victoria as a mode of transport for bringing and out imports and exports. And already we have seen that the route is productive, because we already see companies like roofing which are highly using this route to Mwanza and also Kisumu. Our feeling that possibly in the future, for example, if we have these vessels highly reliable, then we could even think of getting off most of the fuel tankers off the road, and we bring most of the fuel by water, because it will be far safer and cheaper. So we'll be encouraging the fuel companies to look at this possibility of using our vessels to bring in the fuel. So they've made progress. I think they're about 90% of the contract which was given to them. But there are other small aspects which will be soon finished. According to the contract, they are telling me that by the 8th of November, they will do the sea trial to see whether the repairs are meeting the functionality of the vessel.
Before we go, we have a precise message to the business community. The Ugandan business spirit is defined by its resilience. We've heard from entrepreneurs who have adapted with creativity and grit, patience even, showing that challenges are not dead ends, but instead opportunities for innovation. We thank you so much for your audience. My name is Maureen Babidie. Goodbye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.